So this video is basically to help the doctors get through the rest of the navigation of a chart in your daily shift with a patient on things that a scribe won't do, and likely won't be able to teach you how to do. So this is kind of to bridge the gap for the rest of those things for you. I'm in a patient chart, which at this point obviously you know how to get into. I'm going to show you some of the other kind of navigation ways. Predominantly this comes from the tabs that are at the top of a patient chart here. So these are the main things that we're going to go over, and I will show you any of them that you can click on and see. I'm going to show you a way to arrange what is up here as well, but then anything that is here plus additional options that are not are going to be under the All tab. So if anything, remember this All tab that is here will help get you to basically anything that you want. So if you want to make any adjustments, the display is where you make your adjustments, and again it might be under All. For me, I keep it here because this is something that we frequently use. One of the reasons that we frequently use it is to adjust a printer. So if you're working in a certain location, for example, if you're working in the Main and Bryan, there's obviously multiple locations you can work, so multiple printers. So you just select where you want to print things, your forms, your prescriptions, your medications, your instructions, your results. So obviously, logically, you probably switch these all to the same printer, which is at the workstation where you're located. But under this display, there's also some other things that you can adjust. If you, for some reason, wanted to adjust, let's say you wanted to see ER3 where you're working and the waiting room, you would click that tracking board and come in here and hit enter, and that's a way to see those two parts. If you wanted to change your tracking board as it is viewed every time you logged into Pisces, you click the tracking board columns and can add or remove things as you see fit on there. The way I have mine set up may be different from how you would do yours, so that's how you would adjust this. Now if you wanted to get back to a patient chart, you'd click ED Pulse Check, or if you wanted to do something else under here, you could click a different tab, or again, could go to All. I'm going to take you back to a patient chart, and we'll start back from there again, because I think that's the best spot to do this. So let's just go through the other tabs that would be on here that wouldn't have been addressed, and the main one obviously is going to be Orders. When you click on Orders, a number of things are optional over here. Most are pretty self-explanatory, but just know that we do have order sets over here. So an abdominal pain order set is going to have what you commonly are going to use for abdominal pain. You are selecting in these boxes for individual, or you can select up here and select everything, which, to be honest with you, is not that commonly used. The benefit of going to an actual order set itself is not only are they problem focused, but then once you want to enter those orders, you can either hit enter, they go in, it takes you back to the chart. Enter can go then to a task. You can do enter med, and this takes you actually to a medication set that we had geared towards an abdominal pain patient. So anything that you think you might treat an abdominal pain patient with is here when you choose that option. The benefit of this, for example, is if you know you need to transfuse someone blood, for example, obviously GI bleeds, that commonly happens. Here's your order set. You hit enter med, and then it takes you to fluids, which you need, protonics. So it takes you to the commonly used things. You can keep going back to that chart actually in the way that I did, or you can click chart in the top. So again, let's get back into the order set. There's some times that it's hard to find what you want. So let's say a CAT scan is not under the common CAT scans. Realize at the bottom here is everything from every department is here. So all blood bank, CAT scans, radiologies, everything you'd need would possibly be under there. Or you can come up here to the top and you can search. Let's say that you know a majority of what you want is in the GI bleed section, and you enter things on there, but you want to enter more orders. So you'd click an order here and you'd hit the repeat button. it keeps you in the order screen so that then you can go and select something else. This is probably common during a trauma, for example. You've got your major things that you're going to order on your major trauma. You order them from this screen. Sorry, my internet's a little slow today. So obviously the common things you would need are here, but frequently you want to order something else, so you'd click repeat and it'll take you back to that screen. So this is how you do orders. And again, you can get to medications. So there's a common medication set. So if you're in the common orders and want to go to that medication set, you do it in this manner by clicking the enter med. So keep that point in mind. It's pretty helpful when you're trying to order medications. The next tab that I'm going to take you to teach you a little bit about is medications and medication services. So I've showed you one way to get to some medication orders. The other is through the medication service tab, which for myself what this view is this is my quick list I have developed of the commonly used medications. When you write for a medication, it will ask you if you want to add it to your quick list. So let me show you, for example, let's do something that's not on my quick list. So I click search. I frequently do not narrow it down by category just because I haven't found the need, but you can. And let's say we type Zithromax. Computer thinks for a second. It gives you the options on medication service if you're going to give it IV or oral. Let's just say you were going to give a dose of IV Zithromax. When you enter your dose, your unit, your route, you notice down here, write medication, but then it has add to quick list. Once you do that and hit enter, now it is a constant on your quick list until you delete it. You can get back to your quick list by clicking on that quick list tab. What I also would say to you is there's the free text box. If there's something you truly just need a free text in or you're really just having a hard time finding it, you can use that. I'll use this, for example, sometimes on propofol drip titrate to sedation. It's just easier for me to do it that way and let the nurse take care of it. The last thing I'll show you in here is a quick list manager. This is actually pretty helpful. I would encourage you, if you're starting from scratch, to look at that, because what this does is not only can I manage things, let's say that something changed and I want to go and get rid of it, so I can go to the quick list manager and delete, but more importantly is this import function up here. This allows you to import someone's quick list. There's a different list that's here compared to what you'll see real time because this is a test site, but basically you click that import, you can click on a doctor, you can see their list, and then you can import what you want, whether it be all of it by selecting at the top or selecting individual medications. So this is a way to look at other doctors that have been working in the ER for a while and import a list, so pretty helpful. Click import at the bottom and it's in. The next thing we will do, let's get out of that and go back into that patient chart, because now we've shown you how to put in orders, the order sets, medication services. You can view results at the results tab at the top. Basically when there are results, this is the way to get to it within a chart. There's nothing on this patient here. You can select some or all of them and then enter onto the chart from this screen. If you want to see a patient's vital signs during their course of their stay, you'll click flow sheet. When they have them, they'll just spread out right here so you can see them. If you need to know where to send a patient for follow-up, the insurance tab, if you don't have that on your tracking board, again, go back to all for everything that you need. That's where it will be. The other important thing to show you is the prescriptions section. This is my quick list of prescriptions. You can, again, go into Quick List Manager and import a list. Pick any doc that you want, import some or all of it, and then you have a quick list in the manner that they've written things. If you don't have anything or not interested in importing anything, you go to the long list section here. You can type search. So again, we can use the Zithromax example, and you can see what it brings up. If you're sending them home with oral Zithromax, you select it. You come in here and write your dose, the unit, schedule, dispense, same way you write any other prescription. You can pick which form that you want. You did click oral, but all the oral forms now show up that are available to you. You have to click write the prescription. If you wanted to add this to your quick list, you select that box. If you needed to put your DEA, some systems are set up, it's automatic, but make sure that that's on there. And then you can type anything you want on here. For example, must fill antibiotic with pain medication. It'll print on the script and you enter. So that's a way to print one prescription. The nice thing about having a quick list, I will be honest with you, is I can select multiple medications over here on the side if I want to print them all at once, and I come down to the bottom and I have the option of entering. I can enter and do more prescriptions if there's one that I do need to type, or I can enter and go to discharge instructions. So I'm done with my scripts and I can hit enter discharge instruction. It takes me to the discharge instruction screen, so pretty helpful. So speaking of discharge instruction, that's going to tie in here with the dispo screen. So there's two ways, obviously at least there's multiple ways to actually get to the discharge instruction. One is to click here. Another is there is a discharge instruction tab, but I'll be honest with you, frequently if I'm letting someone go, I'm going to use the dispo button. And this is a screen where it starts to get that patient disposition by selecting the type, selecting what you actually did for disposition. So if you admitted them, what floor you're admitting them to comes up once you enter that first part. You enter your initial diagnosis with your subsequent diagnoses below. Once you're done with those, if you know you're admitting them, click enter dispo, or click sign chart if you're ready to sign it. If you know that you are sending someone home, select discharge, select the appropriate location, whether it's home, jail, nursing home. And if you're writing a prescription, click the RX button. It'll take you to the screen I just showed you. And then you can go to DCI from there. If you have no prescriptions and you click DCI, it just takes you to the discharge instruction screen. You can come to the top here and start to type what you want instructions wise to give them and start typing in, like I type abdominal for abdominal pain, and it brings up all the different options. Again, if you click it twice, it puts it to the side here. And then the rest is putting their follow-up, putting their doctor, some things that you saw on the other video. But you also have the option to include procedures and tests here. So if you want to send them home with their lab results, radiology results you had in here, you can put that there and then you click enter. I think the only other thing to probably show you on here would be, actually there's a couple that you'll benefit from, so hang tight for a second. My charts. You can click into my charts, see who you have during a date range, adjust the date range, and the important thing you'll want to see is you can click this user sign exclude, and then I'll redo and hit enter and see if you have any charts that are unsigned, which I do not. So the benefit of this is you find out if you have charts that need to be signed or not. Archive is another way to get to charts. Last name, first name, type some or all of it. Starts, or just can put contains if you remember some of who it was. You can put your name under the attending box and then switch the dates here. Hit report, charts come up. That's a way to get to an old chart. The last sections I think that will help you is going to be, there's meds, usually entered by the nurse, but you can see them there, allergies, and then visits. So if you want to see if this patient had been here before, this is the button that you click. It shows today's current visit, but if there's other visits, you'll be able to get to them from here. You can select in this little circle over here, come in, select physician chart, get into the chart, or you can get into anything else that you want to see from there. So I think that concludes most of the rest to help you navigate a chart as a physician. Whether you do or don't have a scribe with you, these are the points that you will use that they are not as going to be as familiar with. Thanks for watching and hope that was helpful.